Yes. We are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge, or should I say, I am back. Missed you all last week while I was up in Canton. But if you don't know, you've entered inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge, and I am your host, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? Of course, I'm not doing this by myself. Got my road dog, my partner in crime. What up, man? D Intellectual.
Yes.
What's going on, baby?
What's up? Glad to have you back. See, I held it down by myself in here last week, dolo.
Yeah, you doing your thing, man. You was doing your thing, man. How you been, man?
Good. How about yourself?
I ain't seen you since
Cleveland?
2 weeks. It was cool,
Canton,
man.
not Cleveland. How was Canton?
I was in Cleveland, Canton. You know, it's like Atlanta, all these different little cities connected.
It's not like that. It's the mistake by the lake, so they say.
I don't know what it was. I just know in 15 minutes I was in 3 different cities. So, you know, Miami, Decatur, Lithonia.
How was the stay?
We're not going to talk about that. But I appreciate Pro Football Hall of Fame for being so gracious, and they were great hosts. But anyway, like I said, it's another day for sports. Might not be that sports today. We're in the summertime, you know how it is, but
Make
still,
it happen,
man,
man.
it's just good, man. You know, football is back. We can say it. You know, last week, you know, we had a Thursday night game, whatever. It was
Hall
like
of Fame game.
Yeah, and it was yeah. But now we have preseason games, which we will get into that. Also, we're gonna talk some PGA. A record was broken. We'll get into that a little bit later on.
Balling. They was getting it in.
Yeah, they were. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But man, we have a hot topic that is gonna be hot. We're gonna talk about, does your social status require you to speak on social issues? We're gonna get into that. And then we're gonna talk baseball. We're gonna talk about the NFL as far as the positions, like, you know, how valuable are certain positions if it's not the quarterback, the left tackle, or a pass rusher. Like I said, we got so much going on. We have special guests in the building. We have Miss Sheena Davis. Sheena Quick is coming on. She'll be quick to get on me for that. And also, we're going to bring in Sean Tomlinson from Bleacher Report. So, like I said, we got a great show. It's going to be fun. Make sure you let your family and friends know they can listen.
Call
in Atlanta, locally, 1100 AM, The Real. Also, they can go to iHeartRadio, Radio Now, tune in, and look for 1100 WWE. So, and call in at 404-603-8770 to put your 3 cents in. You ready for these quick hits?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Appreciate Sharon Beats for the music. So we're going to start off with Marshawn Lynch sat doing the national anthem during preseason game last night. And also Kenny Stills and Albert Wilson? Mm-hmm. Albert Wilson, yeah, they kneeled during their games as well. So with all this stuff going on with the anthem, actually they put a freeze on it, you know, with the anthem rules, so I guess they can do this anyway.
Right now.
But your thoughts on it?
Man, I still think it's great. They kneeling and sitting for what they believe in. I mean, as far as Marshawn, did you expect anything less?
Right.
that's Marshawn. He's been sitting for a minute anyway.
Yeah.
It's not nothing new. But you know, there's been talks about it, trying to figure out, is it okay for them to still do it? Yeah, it is. Eric Reed still don't have a job. Colin Kaepernick still don't have a job. And there's still social injustices. So that absolutely.
Yeah, they need to, man. I think it's good that they're doing this, and they need to continue to do it, and hopefully others will follow. You know,
and recognize
if that's how you feel,
and recognize what they're
right.
sitting and kneeling for. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the biggest thing when people continue to talk about. Like, yeah, y'all want to say kneeling, sitting, what they're doing it for, but the NFL still isn't pointing out or
what
talk
purpose
about
of, right.
what it's really about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what it's really about.
No, I definitely agree. Moving on, the NBA released their schedule for the 2018-19 season. Most notable, the Christmas schedule, and it will feature Christmas Day will feature the Warriors versus the Lakers, Rockets versus Thunder, and the Bucks will play the Knicks. The reason why that's so significant is because it will be the first time the Bucks will be playing on Christmas Day in 40 years. My question to you is, do you care about all this?
Of course, we know the Warriors and Lakers are going to be on. Like, that's a given, right? Rockets, Thunder, that's understandable. I think that's a testament to the Bucks, man, for what they've done, where they've come from. You know what I mean? And you got to think about it. They had a good team when they had Glenn Robinson, Vin Baker, right? Like, they had a good team.
Right.
But for them now to be, man, 40 years for them to be on for Christmas with the Knicks, man, that's big.
Right.
Do I care? Not really.
I was gonna say you taking a positive approach because
not really.
Because to me, I've always said this: when you think about the NBA schedule, we know they're gonna play their division 4 times.
Right.
They're gonna play in the conference probably 3.
Right.
And you play the outer conference twice.
Right.
It's inevitable.
But you guys know why the Bucks are being put on Christmas. Like, Giannis is that next
they trying to
superstar.
and it's
They're
the East
push
and LeBron gone, so they trying to they got to push it.
One of the significant things about the schedule being released, I think November 21st, the Lakers will visit the Cavs. And the Cleveland newspaper had the headline said Lonzo and the Lakers
come
visit the Q.
That was so funny. Oh yeah, and LeBron will be
the
there.
Former Cavs May is expected to play.
Why they get petty?
That was funny.
Hey, real quick, you talked about Giannis. Who is that guy in the Eastern Conference besides him?
DeRozan.
Embiid.
He's not there anymore.
Oh yeah,
Kawhi. And now Kawhi.
And Kawhi.
And Kyrie.
But
So there are stars in the East,
but Kawhi is
they don't carry
not
the
a
weight.
superstar. You know,
he is though. He is.
No,
He's a quiet superstar though.
But
That's
that's
the
what I'm saying,
problem.
but
He's a quiet.
They don't
superstar.
carry the weight of LeBron. So everything after
Right.
LeBron
It's
sounds
like,
like a
yeah.
letdown.
But
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Superstar is not just because you great.
No,
superstar
no.
is superstar status. He doesn't
But
have a superstar status.
Who doesn't?
Kawhi.
He does though. He's not LeBron though.
No, he doesn't
That's
have
the
a
thing.
superstar. A superstar is not quiet.
So he's not. He's not. Yeah. Why?
Because a superstar is somebody that you can.
No, a superstar
promote.
puts up numbers and they win.
That's just a star. A superstar, you gotta have a status. Ask anybody in the league, they'll tell you.
No.
A superstar comes with a status. It's not just great player. It's you have to have a superstar status. He doesn't. I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm saying he's not a superstar.
So a great player, not a superstar?
Yeah. Superstar is he has that status. He's marketable. Kawhi's not marketable.
I don't think that's what a superstar is, though.
Yes, it is. That's superstar.
Okay.
I
Superstar.
think marketability is part of it.
Yes.
But
He's great.
He's not. If you're comparing him to LeBron, he's not that. But
And
no
he
one
won't be.
is right now.
He still drive his 97 Tahoe.
He's not a superstar. Exactly. Moving on. Gary Woodland set a 36-hole record for the PGA as he shot 66 in the first round and 64 in the second. Wow.
Sheesh.
Wow.
Jeez. What are you going to follow that up with?
Look, meanwhile, Tiger Woods just shot 300.
300.
But, it was cut short due to weather.
Yeah,
But
300.
man, I don't think we ever talked about golf. And Tiger Woods was like the second headline.
Right. Like
whatever.
this dude was on fire. What you going to follow that up with, though?
Man, if he shoot another 60, if he shoots a 69.
Everybody needs to just go home.
Yeah.
Close the door.
That's
night,
crazy.
Night. Everybody go night.
That's crazy. Moving on. Speaking of night, Seattle Mariners pitcher King Felix Hernandez has been taken out of the starting rotation after his struggles. Do you agree with that?
That's so disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
That's so disrespectful. I look and I looked. So the other day I was watching. I saw he struck out Adrian Beltre with this nasty curve, right? And they laughed about it because they used to play together, so
Right.
it was laughing. Next time he came up, and Adrian took him straight away center. Then I looked at the score; it was like 10 to something. So I went and looked at his record, and his ERA is high, but it's Felix.
Yeah,
Like he did all this for you for all these years,
and you take him
then
out.
You take him out. You take him out of the starting rotation.
Yeah, like he's he's I would say their second best pitcher ever
behind Randy
Johnson.
Right.
But this is like Eli getting benched.
Right.
I think it's disrespectful.
Yeah, man.
Like he's having a bad year, but just
let him go out there every 5th day.
Year.
Let him go out there every 5th day, and if it comes to him giving up 7 runs, then
you can't
put up 8.
Are they even in playoff contention?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Oh, this is a bad time to take
it's
him out
horrible. Because now he'll come out and throw a 1-hitter.
But look, real quick, Adrian Beltre surpassed Chipper Jones, but I forgot what. But he hit his 469th home run, so I think he's 10th. I can't remember which number. I'm sorry.
First ballot.
But he's definitely first ballot though. Yeah, I don't know why.
First ballot.
Quietly has done it too.
Yeah, quietly, without the big.
Yeah, quietly.
And he's got 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
The beast. Moving on. NCAA college basketball changed their rule as far as now undrafted players can return back to school and elite college players can have agents. Quickly, what's your thought?
I like it. I think it's a great opportunity for the college players, but I also got to echo what Calipari said, which was what does that do for scholarships, right? So let's say you got this sophomore and he can go into the draft, he hires an agent, then he comes back. But what if they've given his scholarship to an incoming freshman or somebody else, right? Like then that scholarship, or do you hold it for him until he decides?
Yeah.
So that's going to have to maybe they'll come up with a rule where you can hold it and hold it and have it for somebody. I don't know what that would do.
It'll be some late people that's coming in, depending on if they get drafted.
Right, but if they don't, then you could possibly lose out on a top 5 player.
So this is going to cause a lot of problems. I agree. I definitely agree. Moving on, last but not least, North Carolina Tar Heels football players get suspended for selling their own shoes. And they were getting up to $2,000. It's from Jordans, man. And PJ Tucker even got a pair.
PJ be on the shoe game crazy. Mike had to ask PJ one day, hey, man, where you get them from?
But still, and the suspensions will be staggered because, of course, the school was like, we're not spending everybody at one time.
Yeah. They, I think some people got 2 games, and I think a lot of them got 1.
Right.
Pay them players.
Or let them sell the stuff that you gave them
that they don't want.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hard up. They got to be hard up for cash if they're going to sell these shoes because these are like limited edition
PEs, player edition.
So I'll just ask this question, and I'll just say this, and we'll go from here. It just seems like NCAA is like, look, you have to be broke in college. That's basically what they're saying. Like, you just have to experience the college. We want you to experience that.
Jalen Rose said a long time ago, man, when him and Chris Webber was in Michigan, they walking past, they can't get no lunch, can't eat, they eating oodles and noodles, and they walking past a store with their jerseys in the window, and everybody getting paid but them.
Right. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hello, I'm Crystal Dayon, and this is your Sports News Break. The Atlanta Falcons opened preseason on the road against the New York Jets by losing 17-0. Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman didn't play. The Atlanta Braves blew out the Milwaukee Brewers 10-0. Ender Inciarte drove in 4 runs. Atlanta United are off this week and return to action on August 19th against Columbus Crew. The Big Three played here in Atlanta as Power, Trilogy, Three-Headed Monsters, and Killer 3 all won their last regular season games. Playoffs start next week in Dallas. Make sure to follow the 3-Point Conversion for all your major sports news updates. It's where fans' opinions matter.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the new music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
This is Av Stanley, senior writer for the 3-Point Conversion, and you know I'm listening to Mr. Controversy and D Intellectual on the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Tell them what's going on.
Yes. Mr. Controversy here, live at the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with my man D Intellectual.
Yes.
And this next segment, the hot topic, is brought to you by Sidney Cuts Barber Shop, located on 3000 Chapel Hill Road, Suite 206, Douglasville, Georgia. Make sure you check them out. Great barber shop, family, unity, community. I mean, it has it all, man. Like I said, they playing chess, talking sports.
Chess, not checkers.
Chess, not checkers. And involving the children. You know, you get that talk, just have fun. Your wife not around. All of that, man. It's a barbershop.
What's going on in life.
Yeah, just everything, man.
Sports, everything.
You're not going to find any empty chairs or anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, might find a couple this week, but other than that, you ain't gonna find no empty chairs. Everybody cutting. Shout out to my barber, aka, Dwayne Chambers, aka Baby Powder. He was famous last night.
Baby Powder.
Man, I took that man. He was part of the media last night and did a great job, answered some questions asked some questions, and everybody knew who he was. Man, I was kind of jealous, boy. He sold the show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. I don't know if he listening, but shout out, baby.
Shout out.
He promised that he coming on the show, man. So
we need him too.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the hot topic, and the hot topic is hot. We're gonna talk about. Well, first of all, I have to bring in a guest, the lovely Miss Sheena Quick from Quick Out the Blocks. What's going on, Sheena?
Nothing much, just doing what I do when I come to Atlanta and that slide by here.
Right. She fam. So I wanted to talk about, I had this discussion this week, and they brought up Michael Jordan. And it was, I think Shannon Sharp said something. And Shannon Sharp, we don't play clips from another show, but Shannon Sharp talked about basically how when Michael Jordan responded to Donald Trump saying, what he said about LeBron, then he said, I like Mike. And, Mike gave his, 2 cents about how, he felt about LeBron and everything. For some reason, a lot of people want to question what he did. And Shannon Sharp was like, basically he was tiptoeing. Right. Okay, cool. So, and if that's what it is, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I'm not mad at him for that. You know what I'm saying? He's probably right. But the debate came in, somebody posted it, and they started talking about how it's Jordan's duty to come out and speak. Like, he should have talked more about it. And because he's a billionaire, he needs to speak more on social issues. So we're going to talk about, does your superstar status or money status require you to speak out on social issues? I'm going to let you go. Miss Sheena, I'll let you go first. What you think about that?
In Michael Jordan's case, absolutely. Absolutely. He doesn't, he's not susceptible to the punishment and the penalties and the financial penalties that some of these current NBA or NFL players, have to take into consideration before they make a public statement on these really, hot button issues right now. His legacy is cemented. Nobody can really come in and take that away from him. And to be honest, let's be real, like the culture, people that purchase Jordans, I know white people and other, races purchase Jordans too, but he's such a big part of the African American culture. So, we give to him in our buying power and this status that we've, elevated him to. So I absolutely think he has a responsibility to speak on these issues. Whether we like what he says or not, he needs to say something.
Okay. What you think, D?
Would I love for him to do it? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think he has to? No. I think that he does a lot, right? Like, one of the things that I point out a lot of times, he's he's the only black owner of not even a basketball, but of a sports team, right? So his front office has the most minorities. He also, I'm sure you could attest to, he does a lot in Charlotte, right?
Behind the scenes, yeah.
Right, without
really, getting a lot
saying
of
it's on social media, and that's kind of, my point is that he's been doing it for a long time, even when he was in Chicago with the James Jordan Center. Like he does it in a different way, right? Like even with with LeBron, LeBron is the era where everything has to be on social media.
Right.
It has to be spoken on. It has to be. Well, Mike been doing this for a long time, and he just don't broadcast it or do it. So would I like for him to? Yeah, of course, because his voice goes a long way.
Right.
And not just with our community, his voice goes a long way with anything, like every community, right? But I don't think he owes it to us because it's a lot of other people that also could be doing it. That I don't want to say that's just as big as him, because I'm not sure that not too many people are on the plateau that Mike is on. But there's a lot of other people that also is in the same boat.
Let me say this, but he was named in that tweet specifically. So when I feel like you kind of got called out, I felt like it was the opportune time for him to say something. Not like, it's just out of the blue, Jordan's just going to release a statement. But when you're tapped on the shoulder like that, I think you have to speak up and say something.
Yeah, he did. He did.
No, I mean,
right.
Say something for real. Say something real.
But take
a stand.
This is my thing. He shouldn't be required, because first of all, people say because he has the money, and he has the money because of his talent.
Right.
He didn't get there because he was outspoken. That's never been him. He's first of all, he's coming from a different era, and where he's coming from, his era, they don't come out and talk like that. That's just him, and that's how he was raised. But whether it's Jordan, Kobe, whoever, even LeBron, you don't have to. Like, I'm with D. It would be great if everybody would come out who has money, whether you agree or not, whether they're talking what we want or not, for them to come out or has a status to talk and speak on social issues, because a lot of people listen.
Right.
But you shouldn't have to be required to, because you didn't get there. If you didn't get there because of that, why do we want him, or why do we feel like he should? And the thing is, it's easy for somebody to say that's not on that status, that doesn't have that power, to say, oh, well, he need to. He should. I would. No, you could do it because nobody listening to you. And I don't mean to be bogus like that, but
right, you don't have a platform that can be taken away. You don't have that
platform.
And I understand what you're saying too, Shane, is that he's not going to lose his platform.
Yeah, he's not.
Right?
Just like LeBron isn't going to lose his.
Right.
Steph isn't going to lose his. And I know we're talking about sports, but I equate it to just like with hip hop. Hip hop artists have been outspoken because a lot of things in their industry are self-owned. It's black owned. They're not going to have any sanctions or penalties and things like that. And so I feel like when you get to a certain status, you have ownership in your image and things like that, and your earning capabilities and stuff like that. So, somebody that's just getting into the league, I could understand them being a little hesitant. Even Des Bryant last season, when he wouldn't really, say anything. I know he got a lot of flack, but he isn't at that level yet to where he can say whatever he wants to say without ramifications.
Man, he been saying what he want to say.
Well, I mean, no, not when it comes to that. That's why he does not have a job. Like, he's singing a whole different tune on Twitter now.
Right?
It's too late now.
Exactly.
Go ahead, G.
I think the thing that I guess gets lost is that the athletes, they with them having the status and the platform to speak out, they don't always have to. So things are done they do things behind the scenes, or they're just actions from them. It's not them speaking in front of cameras and in front of the media all the time. And what gets lost is that some people think that's all is needed, is to say something in front of cameras, or that them or whatever actions they have, whatever charities or foundations, camps, whatever that is set up, that's all that's needed, to where that the average Joe doesn't have to do anything. So the mindset of expecting these celebrities to do something for you, I think that's what's more prominent to me, rather than the players not speaking or speaking.
And then going back to what D said, he was talking about how he's able not just to reach. We're going back to Jordan, and this could be for anyone with that status, but with Jordan specifically, he can reach. He don't only reach his community or his culture, or but his race, but he can extend out. And sometimes when you don't come out and just say certain things, then you're able to go further and make changes.
And do certain things. Because
now you're not, and like I said, I want him to say it. I'm not saying he shouldn't or anybody shouldn't, but sometimes it's wise. I remember I was always taught, sometimes you got to be, it's more wise to just listen and don't be so quick to say anything.
And do what you do. Even you got to think about it, right? Even with J and B, right? So they just really started saying things, right? But they always been doing things. Right? But because I'll say maybe the last year or so, maybe, with when B started with the Lemonade album, with all that coming out, then, they became more vocal. But they've always been doing things. So, yeah, it's great that they came out and finally, did what they did, but they were always and doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me ask you, if Donald Trump would have named Jay-Z in that tweet, you think he would have said something or taken a stance?
Where he at in his life now, yeah. But I can't say that he would have did that 2 years ago.
But even if, and I know we got to go, but what my whole point is, I'm not saying that you shouldn't say anything. I'm not saying that, because we want him to say, we want everyone to say something. I would love for Jordan to come out, but he shouldn't be required to say anything because of status. Because again, he didn't get there because of his status. He got there because of his talent.
What I also want to say is, don't let that determine what you gonna be or what you gonna do. Don't let whether Mike say it, LeBron say it, Jay say it, B say it, or anything. Do what you gonna do and continue on with it.
Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna take a quick break. Great subject and great segment. We're going to be right back. We have a special guest, Mr. Sean Tomlinson from Bleacher Report. His family. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
Are you tired of limiting yourself from tasty food because you want to eat healthy? Well, Salad Express will fix that problem for you. Salad Express is a gourmet salad and grill restaurant that gives you multiple options to satisfy your taste buds and keep you healthy. They have over 40 toppings, which are all cut fresh daily, and 7 homemade soups, including chili. You can also order hot sandwiches and wraps, with choices like grilled chicken, steak, salmon, and shrimp, which can all be added to salad as well. Go ahead and visit them today at 1055 Mansell Road, Suite 600 in Roswell, Georgia. Your taste buds will thank you.
What's up? This is Anthony Hamilton, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Mr. Controversy, the intellectual.
Yes.
Like I stated, we have special guests. Miss Sheena Quick was in the building, and that was, like I said, that was a great topic. Hey, with NFL, man, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I'm so happy. Even though I missed it because I've been covering everything else, but
extra excited about
it. Extra, man. Like I had an extra pep in my step. Like I hadn't getting any sleep because I've been working, hard for the 3-point conversion. But yet still, it gave me that extra, pep in my step. You know what I'm saying? Just all week long, man. And
that's what gave you the pep.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. That NFL, the NFL is back, man.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's.
Yeah, it definitely is back with that penalty.
Okay, so anyway, we're gonna talk NFL, and we're gonna bring in our special guest who's in the building. We're gonna bring in Mr. Sean Tomlinson, our cousin. What's up, cousin?
What's up, family?
Doing well, guys. How it's good to have football back, huh?
Man, who are you telling? I was just saying that, bro. I'm excited, man. Definitely excited.
Back is, I don't mean to kill the vibe, but week 1 of preseason is kind of like this.
He always say this.
I try to put it into context. It's sort of like if you're going out with your buddies, it's like having a few pre-drinks. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing.
But it's pre-drinks. We're getting ready for the
big show.
Right.
That's what it is. For the big show.
Right.
But
so we definitely want to dive into the games this week, and actually I'm gonna say it for him. I know it's preseason and it doesn't matter. It's just, but I want to ask you, what stood out the most from the first week of preseason?
You're right. There's always the caveat. It's starters, even these high-hyped rookies, they play like 2 series in week 1, so you need to always keep that in mind. However, if I were to pick one player that stood out the most, Kerryon Johnson. I mean, we were all so heartbroken when Juice went down, and he was the running back we were all going to get behind, and the preseason can break your heart sometimes. But now suddenly, it looks like Kerryon Johnson could be that guy for Detroit. He had, I think it was almost 70 yards from scrimmage. He had one 53-yard run that was called back due to a hole, but he just looks very powerful when he runs. He can cut quickly, and he just blasts off in the open field. And he's a very versatile back. That 3-down running back is that elusive player that every team wants to find. If you can get that with an early draft pick and get him in there right away contributing, that's what Detroit really, really needed, because that running game, not just last year, for the past few years, has just been an absolute, crater over there. I think they averaged below 4 yards per carry in 2017. So that's what stood up most to me. I imagine you're going to want to talk about Baker Mayfield in a bit here, but yeah, he was pretty good too.
Definitely. Now, speaking of Atlanta, you think the offense can gel and get better if Sarkisian is still running Shanahan's offense?
Yeah, I mean, that's, obviously the hope and the goal is in year 2 you can take that stride forward. I think I get why, because you're coming fresh off the Super Bowl. I think the panic buttons were mashed just a little bit early last year, right? Yes, they were out of sorts in the first half of last year, but I think toward the second half you started to see that come together. You start to see Julio and Matt Ryan click more and really feel more comfortable in that system. I like to see Freeman, keep getting as involved as we saw him back in 2016. And then, obviously what the Falcons have needed for a while to me is the right complement to Julio. Now, Sanu's been solid, but another guy who can really stretch the field. I think Calvin really can be that guy. I think you can use him creatively from the slot too, and it simply gives them more options. And as terrific as Julio Jones is, you don't want to be leaning right on one guy. And yeah, when you add that versatility into the mix, and that familiarity with the second year in an offense, yeah, I think you can see those fireworks go off again.
And once again, we're here live with Sean Tomlinson, Bleacher Report analyst, who's talking NFL, and you can follow him on Twitter at Sean G. Tomlinson. G stands for good stuff. All right, Sean. Speaking of Baker Mayfield, you brought him up. There's been a lot of talk with him playing well in training camp, and then he came out and did well, during the preseason game. Is it time for everyone to just watch football and just see what happens instead of trying to make him the starting quarterback? And then, too, was there any other quarterback that impressed you during this first week of football?
As far as the second question, I think I'll go backwards here. I think Sam Darnold looked, solid. I think actually that entire Jets quarterback depth chart, it's been a while since we've been able to say this, looks pretty good. They're going to find at least one quarterback that's competent for 2017, and that hasn't happened in a while. The ideal position you want to be in is one where if you're rookie who you believe in and you think is going to be great, you want to have him fight for that job and maybe not start week one. You want to have other guys around him, which brings me to Baker Mayfield, right? Look, you're right. He did look great, and he was doing Baker Mayfield things. He's a bit undersized, but that really doesn't matter. He's got a really strong arm to make throws to the sidelines. Very, very mobile, of course. He can get creative in that sense. But what is sort of overlooked is that Tyrod Taylor also looked pretty good, and he's looked good all training camp. And we remember the playoff face plant, but he was pretty solid last year for a Buffalo team that hadn't made the playoffs since a lot of fans were in high school. So and that's just it. You want that veteran presence there. And you want Baker Mayfield. There's nothing wrong if he sits, waits, watches, and learns for a bit. I think we're so anxious to thrust these young quarterbacks in and make a determination right away. They're either great or they're awful. We saw that last year with Mitch Trubisky too, and Jared Goff 2 years ago. I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit, even if it's the first overall pick. And just say, okay, we know Baker Mayfield, we're confident in you, but the hardest part of being a quarterback is not physical to me. It's not the arm. It's all in your head. It is so incredibly hard, that position. So yeah, I'm great that he's shining in August, but I think for the first time in a long time, the Browns have multiple quarterbacks to feel good about.
Now, with all the personal foul calls for leading with the helmet, do you think the players will buy in, or you think it's going to be some type of change within the rule?
My answer is a bit of both, actually. Listen, I get from a fan's perspective the sort of panic here. Like the problem with football the last couple of years is just the TV product, the entertainment value has gone down. And let's face it, it's fun to cheer for our team. It's great, but that's why we watch on Sundays, right? It's entertainment. That's what sports are. And it's less entertaining when you've got, 3 commercials every 15 minutes and flags every play. You don't know what a catch is. But we've seen this in the past. For example, when they brought in the hands-to-face rule, they call it like crazy in August because you know what? It's preseason for the rest too. And then they get to the point where their players are really getting cautious and used to it and have it in their minds. And then the league kind of meets before the season starts and said, okay, let's dial it back a bit. and they sort of work out the kinks, and it's not as big of a story come, I would say, the end of September. I think that's going to be the case here. I hope that's the case here. It has been in the past with other rule changes. So I guess if we're still having this panic mode come, October, then yeah, check back with me then. But I'm gonna wait to really, throw myself off the balcony.
It's funny because I was watching, I think it was the Bears game, and I saw one of the calls where the guy led with his helmet, which he did, but it was kind of like he just went for the guy's legs, just to undercut him. He was trying to make a tackle, and it was nothing big. And at first I got upset, but then I'm wondering, is this just to get the players to kind of change the way they're tackling more so? I mean, of course, this is what a flag is for, but I'm saying more so than just we're going to set a new rule. Because I think, like you stated, I think eventually they will kind of calm down on the rule, but I think it's to try to get the players in a mindset. But it's hard, Sean, because if you've been trained to tackle like that, and people say it's the wrong way to tackle, whatever. That's how you've watched the best tackle like that. And I mean, you're going to lead with your helmet. You're going with your shoulder, but you're leading with your helmet. How can they expect someone to change that in less than, 6-7 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's really hard, but the league is in a tough spot. You have to start somewhere because the league, as much as this is frustrating right now for everybody involved, fans, players, referees too, you can't just do nothing because what's happening with the head injuries, you need to keep making progress there because there is legitimate concern about it. This gets to a larger conversation where the league's going to be about a decade from now, right? And it's not as though football is just going to evaporate and go away if the league keeps doing nothing with head injuries. Like, listen, every spring there are hundreds and hundreds of young men wanting to get drafted, right? But the problem is that maybe today the mother signing her 12-year-old up, maybe she's wants them to play baseball instead. You know what I mean? And it's that you need to. Yes, football will always have an element of violence and chaos to it. That is absolutely true. But I think you just need to make progress and just take down perhaps the severity of those head injuries and just simply take it seriously. College football's done that with targeting. That's the NFL won't quite go to that extent, the idea of tossing a guy out, but this is the attempt to make a middle ground, and I think it'll work out. They're just working out the kinks in August.
Yes, sir. And like I always say, and I'm gonna end it with this. I say what I always say. Well, I guess I always say we make dumb decisions as far as Bears organization and the fact that we got a beast at linebacker that's not playing because of this stupid rule, and they want to put this rule in his contract to say that is dumb.
I'm mad at the
Bears. That makes me upset. And I should have asked Mr. McCaskey, when I had a chance in pro football, when I was questioning him and interviewing him, I should have asked him that, but I didn't. But anyway, Sean, we definitely appreciate you for coming on, cousin. Once again, you can follow him on Twitter at Sean G. Thomason. G stands for Get Jiggy With It. And Sean,
my mom would say it stands for Gregory, but I'll take it.
Appreciate you coming on, man. You have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Keep it locked.
I'm right back with you.
This is Sam Freeman with the Atlanta Braves, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
Check out my man, Mr. Controversy, on 1100 a.m. Saturday mornings, 10 o'clock. Sports Talk, 3-Point Conversion, where fans' opinions matter.
It's time to get in the mind of Mr. Controversy and the Intellectual with What's on My Mind.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Always having a good time. And this next segment, What's on My Mind, is brought to you by Sucker Free Life LLC. Make sure you live your truth for the world to see, because everyone can be sucker free, just like me. But no, I was about to start freestyling now. Anyway, purchase your apparel today exclusively at facebook.com/Sucker Free Life LLC. And that's SUCKA, not sucker.
Not sucker.
Nah, you're a sucker.
Sucker.
No.
Sucker free.
But anyway, this is one of my favorite topics, or segments, because we get to express what's on our mind. Sometimes we have so much on our mind that we can't think what's on our mind. But I do have something that's on my mind. And this is a time where we get to express how we feel. Something to get off our chest, man. I always say, man, we don't vent. Just to get off our chest, man. Let me holler at y'all. And it's almost retro, because I've talked about this before. But look. I always say I'm an NFL fan. That's my favorite sport. Every Sunday I'm locked in the basement. Everybody know what it is. Wife, children. If we had a pet, they would know. Don't bother me on Sundays while football is on. I'm in a man cave watching football. Dozing off, second game. You know what I'm saying? You get that little 20-minute, 15-minute nap, which is necessary because you didn't scream and threw stuff and all that through the first game. But because I'm a fan, I love fantasy football also. Man, I love fantasy football. But what kills me about fantasy football, or about people who play fantasy football, is that they forget that it's fantasy, that it's not real. I'm tired of people coming to me when we're having a discussion about football and about the NFL, and we're talking maybe stats. I'm talking about, oh man, Drew Brees, yo man, he did his thing or whatever. He's a beast. He this, and somebody says, yeah, but I mean, I'm telling you, he's good, but I mean, he didn't have that good of a season. I'm like, bruh, he threw for almost 5,000. No, because man, but on my fantasy team, he ain't really. What? What does that have to do with real life? It's fantasy. That's why you have certain restrictions. It's not real. Don't bring fantasy up when we're having a real discussion about football, or who's good, or who's better, or who's garbage, or whatever. And then you bring up, well, I know it was because on my fantasy team last year, come on, bruh. Or come on, lady. Whoever you are. Like, I'm tired of that. They don't go together. They don't. I mean, you have to separate it. Yes, I know it's hard because it does change the way you watch football. I get it. That's why Bears games, I'm not even checking my fantasy stats. Not at all. Second game, before I check my stats, then I don't continuously check my stats because it's going to mess me up, because then all of a sudden you start rooting for kickers and stuff when you follow kickers. You know what I'm saying? You're not a fan of kickers, but now you rooting for kickers to kick a field goal. You get mad because he missed it or something. No. It's hard. I get it. But you have to learn how to separate the two. And I'm just tired of having to deal with that, man. And people think they know football because they play fantasy. Nah, bro. You don't. Or nah, lady. You don't watch football, or you don't know football. But like I said, that's what it is. I know fantasy is coming up. I know it's a great time for fans. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It's always fun. But again, just learn how to separate fantasy and fakeness, with NFL and real stats. And that's what's on my mind.
That's what's on your mind, lady or man or whoever.
Bruh, yeah, I don't want to discriminate, but yeah, that's it is, man.
You ready for fantasy?
I'm ready, and look, and I can tell you, shout out to Frank, and DJ. I know Vincent, the fantasy guru. I know all of them, but hopefully they can understand it is like that, man. They can't. Some people can't separate the two, and they think they know football because they know fantasy, and then other way around. Some people, because they know football, think they know how to play fantasy.
Right.
And that's
not how it goes.
Yeah, it's different.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, because things happen. You can't pick with your heart. You can't, you be a Packers fan and pick every Packer. You probably gonna lose.
Right. and I had to, and I know you got to go, but I had to stop because I was kind of the opposite. Because I'm a Bears fan, I wouldn't pick any Packer players. I can't root for the Packers. You can't do that.
I had Jordy Nelson the year before he got injured. Killed it for me. He had 100 or something.
Yeah,
killed it for me.
I hated that. Yeah,
gotta take your heart out.
Yeah, so
about this W, not
right.
this L.
But I learned,
especially if you play for money,
right? And I had to learn, like, you know what? Forget that. I got Jordy. Hey, what? Jordy. Look, now I ain't gonna lie. No, what I would do is if he played against the Bears, I would purposely put him in because if he has a bad game, yes, that means we win. The Bears win. But if the Bears lose, hey, at least I got something. At least I won because he played well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
see, I've played where like I've had a Bears defense, right? But then I've had somebody that was gonna play against them. So I gotta sit you because I know this defense is gonna do this. And,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah, it definitely get ugly. You know that defense is gonna be crazy
yep.
this year. So what's on my mind? What's on my mind today? It's kind of what we was talking about even with our hot topic. Is every whether it's NFL player, NBA player, or whatever player isn't going to be Muhammad Ali, right? They're not going to be the one that's going to speak out and say this and say that. But you're still supposed to do what you're going to do, right? You're still supposed to stand up for what you believe in, speak out on what you're supposed to speak out on, and don't expect a superstar, whether it's an NBA player, NFL player, hip-hop artist, or whoever it is, to do that, because that's not what's supposed to drive you. What's supposed to drive you is what you want, what you believe in, and things of that magnitude. The society we are in today is a social media driven, so it's very Instagram, Facebook, Twitter driven. So when people say things and do things, it's broadcasted in that magnitude. However, everybody isn't that. LeBron James is that. D Wade is that. Chris Paul is that. That's what they do. That's what their situation is. But if you look back at the players that were before them, they did it in different ways. And what I mean by that is without Mike, right? Like, there could be no LeBron James. There could be no Dwayne Wade. And what I mean by it is whether it's from the endorsements, opening up that phase, or in Mike when he was the first person that can actually play on a basketball court outside of the NBA, right? So he did that. So that allows everyone else to be able to do it. So everything that LeBron is doing or Dwayne Wade is doing or other people are doing, yeah, you may not see Mike speaking out about it in the way that you want him to speak out about it, but he's opened up the door for everybody else to be able to do that. So just want everybody to, be recognize what has happened in the past, what's going on now, and it's every step is for the next step, right? So Mike did this for LeBron to be able to do this. LeBron is doing this for someone else behind him to be able to do something bigger than what he's doing. Whether it's, so he's done the school. course, you know, we definitely got to give shout-outs to he wasn't the first to do the school. David Robinson, Jalen Rose, other people that definitely did the school. But he's opening the door for somebody behind him to open up 5 more schools or a college university or something that, you know, no one even thought of. So don't always think that it has to be broadcasted or it has to be done in this particular way for it to be said. Again, Mike has been doing things in the community for a long time. He just doesn't broadcast it. Not just him, but everyone around in society, whether it's Will Smith, whether it's Jay-Z, whether it's Beyonce. Everybody does it, but everybody may not be as outspoken as a LeBron or you know, some of the other people that are doing things, and it's well known and it's brought out in that type of way. But I think my biggest point in saying all of this is to say, regardless to what they're doing, it should not affect what you're doing. So you should be able to do what you need to do, support, do good for causes, and bring awareness to what's going on in society, regardless of what someone else is doing. So yeah, that's what's on my mind on this Saturday.
Hey, you know, the thing I think about is, I think we look at errors, but social media has a lot to play with it, because the era back then, you didn't have social media. It was just, if you made a statement, it was headline. Depending on what the statement was and how big it was, it would hit the airwaves. Mm-hmm. But now,
it don't matter.
LeBron could just come out and say,
hey,
and boom. We're all talking about it.
LeBron said, hey.
You know, I mean, and honestly, and just being real and I hope she understands what I'm saying. It's just like with Miss Quick came, she was the one that broke the news. And we're going to she was the one that broke the news about when Gary Payton said that
Brown was going to LA.
Brown was going to LA because Bronny is going. She interviewed Gary Payton. That was her interview. Mm-hmm. And it hit the airwaves. The right person saw it.
Bam.
Bow. You know, and that's the difference. Whereas in Mike's day, you didn't have to. I mean, you didn't do it.
He said
for
today,
attention.
you might not hear it till next week.
Yeah, right, right. Because it wasn't for attention. I mean, and I'm not saying Bron is smart because he's doing it because of that, and he needs to do it because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it gains more attention. So he's using his platform, but it's not. I mean, Mike them, they did it just to do it. David Robinson did it because it was, and I think LeBron is doing it that way also. He's just making it aware so other people can see it and
do
then
it, right.
and make, you know, they might make changes as well.
Which definitely ain't bad. Just like not just like but not just basketball, but even hip hop. Like everything goes through phases, right?
Right.
Like even the new school doing it different than the old school, and we might look at it. You know how we look at when teams getting on each other's team, and we look at it funny. Okay, the hip hop game changed, and however the situation is now, whether you want to call it mumble rap or whatever, we look at it differently. But for the era right now, that's what it is. You know what I mean? That's what LeBron's era is. So let that era be what that era is. We might not like it, but accept it, and it is what it is.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
AM 1100. The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! Oh, it's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones of Sucker Free Life LLC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3-point conversion, where no team or no player is off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
No. What's going on, y'all? It's Mr. Controversy. I can't do that. I'm sorry, y'all. I just saw something. What up, Holyfield? Yeah, man. We gotta get paid for that, Holyfield. They ain't paying us for that. You know what I'm saying? But no, just go watch that movie.
Yeah, go check it out.
That movie.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what came out.
But anyway, we like to thank everyone that's listening to the show. Always thank you for the support, man. We recognize it. We wouldn't be here without y'all, I promise you. And I don't just say that just to say that, for real. I always talk about it. So appreciate everyone who's listening, Facebook Live, in the barbershop,
iHeart
Radio,
wherever you
everybody.
Listen. Friends, family, we appreciate
we
y'all
definitely
all the time.
appreciate it. And I definitely want to give a special shout out to somebody right now that's been rocking with a certain barber since DOA. Who's cutting DOA. And that's my man, Amir. What up, Amir? Sitting in Z's chair, getting his hair cut. What's up, bruh? We appreciate the support, man. And Cindy Cuz Barbershop also appreciate the support. So
since the DOA days,
yeah,
huh?
you can't see me, but I see you. So, but anyway.
You know what them haircuts was like, huh?
Yep. But anyway, it is now time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Stop it! Stop it!
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it!
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah. So my stop it today, man. It's going to Kelvin Benjamin. Cause he want to talk all that good game, right? And then when Killer come holler at him, try to talk to him about it, he don't want no smoke. He kind of backing up and, oh man, you got all this to say about me. But then when I come out, and if y'all saw the video, I hope y'all saw the video. Like Cam was in his face. I'm talking about, like, you know how you put your hands behind your back, like, no, I ain't gonna hit you, but I want you to know, like, man, hey man, for real, that's how you feel? That's how you Kelvin Benjamin, man, let me get that brother to stop it, man.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry, G. Give me a stop it. I would have interrupted.
Stop it.
So wait, what did I missed? What did Cam say?
So
what not Cam? What did Benjamin say about Cam?
That if he had to play with like an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady,
okay.
Do you mind you? He came in training camp looking like an offensive lineman. He came in like 280.
He blames the start of his career on Cam.
But they went to the Super Bowl the year he was injured.
Right.
Right. Can I get another stop it then?
Stop it.
And see,
he looked like last season when last season or the season before he came in looking like a offensive lineman.
He's done that every year.
Like he come in
every
like
year,
280. Like, dude, what do you do? Like, wait, what? Like you a wide receiver. You like David. You remember David Boston when he was hitting the weights and he came in looking like a bodybuilder.
He was hitting the roids.
Yeah, like dude, man, this dude came in looking like he wasn't doing nothing all summer but eating rib tips and potato salad.
Yep, and he
stop it.
But you know what? He did come in and score a touchdown. Like use the extra pump for that.
But
game.
look at what's crazy is they say that him and Cam had a friendship. Like, he used to come down here, drive Cam cars, like they'll be together, right? Like, heavy hanging. He gonna talk sideways about me. But then when I come and holler at you about it, you gonna try to nut up and
man. That was crazy, man. That was crazy. I saw that. That was funny, though. My stop it moment. Man, what do these people be drinking, smoking? I don't know. Maybe he need to get tested. So, well, I guess I understand. But Andre Drummond, the center for the Detroit Pistons, and you see his game. He's grabs rebounds, soak up rebounds, dunk. He doesn't really have a post game, but he plays inside me. He's inside guy. That's it. Says that he's going to be shooting 3-pointers this season. That's what he's going to be doing. Is I'm just going to be attempting 3-pointers this season.
Stop it.
What's his free throw percentage?
He's a career 42% free throw shooter, but he did shoot a career high 60% last season.
Okay, let's get that up to 70.
Okay, so. And I don't know if he's looking at my man. What's my man in OKC? Roberson.
Andre Roberson.
Andre Roberson, which I always say that, and he's a wing player. I understand Drummond, but he's a small forward shooting guard, and you can't shoot free throws.
But you don't even stick.
But you want to attempt 3-pointers, and he'll make some. But
they don't even stick.
Again, you can't play. You can't play if, and I'm benching you, if you're attempting threes and you can't shoot over 75% from the free throw line. That doesn't make sense to me.
They gonna let him shoot it. Go ahead. They gonna stand at the dotted and let him go ahead.
I'm
jack
snatching
it up.
you.
Jack it up.
Look, and then I'm going old school. Once I bring you in, no, sit by me.
Sit next to me.
Sit by me.
Sit next to me.
Yeah, sit by me. Come on,
Larry
man.
Drew probably told him to, though, man.
Stop it.
Larry Drew probably told him to shuck him up.
Whatever. Because remember, Dwight Howard said he's going to do that.
Man, Dwight Howard better stay his big shoulder self in the post.
And Joe got some big shoulders.
Yeah. Like you always saying, huh? I don't know. I don't know.
Why you always question it?
I don't know.
All right, man. Look, that concludes our Stop It moment. Or Stop It segment. We're going to take a quick break. And we will be right back with Is This Really Happening? Keep it locked.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the 3-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The 3-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
Radio.
Tune in.
Now. You can tune into this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at tunein.com.
Or your app store.
Sit back and relax. You're back in the 3-point conversion with Mr. Controversy and The Intellectual.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. And I want to shout out to all our sponsors, Seneca's Barbershop, Salad Express, and Sucker Free Life LLC. All right, y'all know what time it is. Miss Crystal, we're going to start with you first. What's going on this weekend?
Well, my birthday was on Tuesday.
Happy belated.
Thank you. So, the rest of the month is on lock. This weekend, I don't know.
That's good. Because, you have choices. What's up, D?
Nothing. I'm moving at the end of the month, so I'm chilling for the next 2 weekends.
Yeah.
Probably going to be packing and, when it's the last month in a place, you kind of, try to get everything together, figure out what you need, what you don't need, things like that. So that's what I'm probably going to be doing this weekend.
So why are you talking like that, dude?
You know how I get sometimes.
Very white on
I know, right? Yeah, dog. Should we change the music?
It's 11 a.m. on a Saturday.
Right. Gee. Wait. Let me tell the story. So we covering the Big Three. Shout out to the Big Three, man. They were great hosts.
Shout out.
We covered the Big Three, and me and my producer, G, was there. And we had another media correspondent, some guy named Dwayne Chambers, but this multi-talented guy. But anyway, and the first thing he saw G, he's like, wait a minute, this G? He's like, yeah. Oh, the guy doesn't always sleep. He always go to sleep.
Shade.
So, G, what are you doing?
What are you doing today, G?
After you leave.
Right. Sleeping.
I'm taking a nap.
Oh, man.
And what?
So?
Right. Bruh, but it was so funny when you said that, though. Like, oh, this the guy that, yeah, you always sleeping. Miss Nashina.
Say what?
What are you doing?
Well, camp breaks on Monday. So when I leave here, I'm heading up to Spartanburg to check out the last couple of days of camp, get my kids ready for middle school.
Yeah, they hadn't started school yet?
No, they don't start school for another couple weeks, but in 6th and 7th grade, the growth spurts hit this summer. Shoes are now $200.
Right. Down here in the A, they've been going for 2 weeks.
Yep.
A week or two. They've been.
I'm just grinding to pay for motherhood.
I'm going to listen to my producer, and I'm going to get some sleep. Probably won't get too much because I know girls, they've been in school, so, but they'll be all on me. But other than that, I'm going to watch some football. Y'all make sure y'all watch football. But anyway, it is time for this segment, the hot segment that everybody's been waiting for. Is this really happening? G, go ahead and take it over, sir.
Hot fire.
All right, so I found a couple of stories that were pretty bizarre enough and to make you ask the question, is this really happening? So the first story comes from, I'll play the video here, but I can't play the sound because I didn't get a chance to edit it, and there's a lot of profanity in it. I have to adhere to FCC regulations.
Right. Yes.
But at a gym in Montreal, Quebec, in Canada, there was a 19-year-old who was deadlifting about 350 pounds or something like that. And let me bring it up here. And when he brings the bar back down, you hear the weights hit the mat. And apparently that is one of these unwritten rules of being in the gym, that you're not supposed to make any noise when you lift weights. So you're not supposed to grunt or scream or anything, and you're not supposed to make any noise with any of the equipment. Mm-hmm. So I said this kid's 19 years old, and if you're watching on Facebook Live, you just see him deadlifting, and you're going to see a guy come over and kick him out of the gym. Now, this guy who's kicking him out of the gym does not work there.
What?
And you see, he kicks the bar out of his hand. But this guy does not work there, and he's kicking him out. He's like, "What am I doing?" He's like, "You're ego lifting. You're ego lifting." And I had to look up what is ego lifting. And
what's ego lifting? Please tell us.
Right.
So basically, ego lifting is lifting weights that are too, like you're doing it to impress others.
You can't do it to impress yourself. I guess not.
So if you're doing it to impress your trainer or your trainer or some other people in the gym,
definitely kicked it out of his hand.
So yeah. As I said, the guy doesn't work there, and he's just yelling at him, and then he grabs him, throws him against the wall, and so the gym has banned the guy who felt he needed to be the gym police.
Right, he should.
Absolutely.
They have banned him from the gym. And the 19-year-old has been offered a free 1-year membership.
Oh yeah, that was worth the eagle lifting. Get his eagle on then. He would have caught these hands.
Bruh.
Though.
Wait. So I wonder who came up with that idea, because if I was management, why does he need to be offered free
Good
membership?
customer service, man. You always go
assaulted.
above and beyond.
He was assaulted in your facility.
Go above and beyond.
He's not getting a 1-year free membership.
That's $200.
Right.
Yeah,
if we're
like $15 a month or something.
My point is, if that's only $200, then that means we're not making money like this.
No, but
like two people at the gym.
He could have gotten.
It was two
It
people at the
could have
gym.
been 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Who knows what it looked like Thursday night at 7?
He could have sued.
You go above and beyond,
in this day and
man.
age,
Who he could have sued? The dude had nothing to do with it.
So it happened on your property.
Exactly.
And we took care of that.
Yeah, by the 1-year membership.
Right.
You take that
You
$200
go above and
off.
beyond, man. You know you go above and beyond.
And it's just the
I know
gym.
they was arguing like, man,
It's just the gym. They
bruh,
might not
what?
even be open for a year.
Right.
Gyms collapse all the time.
So he probably don't even come.
So let me ask you
A little $150 ain't nothing.
He ego lifting. He come to the gym.
I know, right? So the guy, did he try to fight it? The guy that
They got kicked out.
suspended?
Fight what?
There's no report on if he did anything else.
Well, he tried to fight.
Just ended with that he was banned from that gym.
What, fight the fact that he was banned?
Right.
What he gonna fight?
The air.
You can't come in.
You assaulted someone.
Because he said he was
Eagle
said
lifting.
dude was he messed
And
up
what was he doing?
He messed up my workout.
Right, so you can't come in. If I tell you don't come in, you can't come in.
Like if you at the gym fighting to get in, we got a whole nother slew of problems. But people just need to mind their business.
That's it.
Exactly.
But dude couldn't mind his business because dude was ego lifting.
Man, I would have open hand slapped him if he came in. If he came,
And guys,
put his
we
feet
have
on
just
my-
discovered what kind of guy Mr. Controversy is.
Right.
He's kicking the bar out of the
kicking the
dude's
bar out of
hand.
dude's hand.
Kicking people out
And
the
he
neighborhood
think he
pool,
can
you
come
don't
tomorrow
work there.
and don't let you come back. Don't kick me out.
Hey, from
Kick
now-
him out.
He's gonna- when people are
Kick him
putting
out for getting assaulted.
people are putting the plates on the bar, if they make too loud
much
of a
noise.
noise, he walk
Yep.
it up to them.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying,
nah.
dog. Look, when we somewhere
like the
eating,
noise
look,
police?
when we're somewhere eating, and somebody doing, and they keep going up to get plates and all that, and making noise. Hey, bro, you ego eating. Stop doing
Man,
that.
see,
Stop it.
He gonna
I'm
catch an
trying to-
open hand slap.
Yeah, we
I'm
gonna
an
see you
open
on
hand
World
slap.
Star.
You gonna walk with the people on the treadmill.
Yeah.
The treadmill's too loud.
Why you watching TV? What you watching ESPN for that loud?
You ego watching, dog.
Turn your headphones down.
Put the headphones in. I'm telling you, you gonna get an open hand slap. We're gonna see Mr.
Open hand slap.
We gonna see Mr. Controversy on the world.
All I gotta say is, LA, all the three. Well, I shouldn't put all of them like that, but hey, man, it's get on or lay down, man. You know how we do.
So basically, we gonna see the 3-point conversion on World Star Hip Hop one of these days. You harassing people.
I'm just saying, he harassing me. If I'm working out and dude, There's no reason, bruh. You ain't got to do all that.
Mind your business, though, man.
There are gyms
So
that
wait.
are designed to
Mind
be
your
that way, where
business.
you go in and you're lifting and it's music. And
Yeah, so you
your
can't.
business.
People can't even hear it. Like, I mean, if you don't want to hear all that, go to
Put your
Planet
head or
Fitness.
put your headphones
go to
on.
LA Fitness. They don't even.
What if
you
I
know,
had
let
my
you live
headphones
like
on?
that.
He still, and you could see
You
the
need to
video.
turn
Hold
your
on.
music
The
up.
video looked like he was.
He probably was loud.
He was
as
loud as
too.
And you know he was because he was recording himself.
Look, he probably had the gallon of water.
He
over
was
to the
recording
side.
himself. Oh, he was recording himself. So you know he was.
I record myself all the time. I don't make noise.
Okay, my point. Thank you. Thank you.
But I'm just saying, just because
quick.
he was recording himself doesn't necessarily mean that he was loud.
He was loud.
So,
But dude,
It doesn't
But
have
even-
anything to do
wait,
with the other
did-
individual. I
but did
think he
y'all
may
s-
have a steroid problem.
But did
Yeah,
y'all,
like,
but
what are
did
you
y'all
mad
see-
about, dude?
Hold on, but
I
did
don't
y'all see
know
where he
you.
came from, though? Y'all saw where he came from. He didn't come from, like, right. He came from all the way on the other side.
Which is
So
even-
dude was loud.
That's
No,
even
so that's
worse.
even
No,
worse.
That's even worse.
Mind your business,
That's even
man.
worse. You can't be working out if you over here worried about whether my plates are hitting the ground too loud.
Again, if I'm on the other side of LA Fitness and I'm playing basketball and I hear you grunting and all of that, I'm gonna come.
If you playing basketball and you come say anything to me,
Anything. Like,
anything to me.
but what about the guy that called the police because he got fouled too hard?
We already talked
Yeah,
about
we talked
that.
about
So you
that.
need to listen to the show.
Yeah.
Same
My
thing.
bad. See, wait, y'all need the DMX Mind Your Business lady drop.
Right.
That would have been perfect.
All
for
right,
this.
all right, G. What's the second one, man?
All right, the other one comes from well, we talked about the UNC players selling their Jordans. Now
Hilarious.
those were allegedly real.
Oh, you talking? I know what this is.
So five people in New York have been arrested for selling. Well, not just selling, trafficking
Trafficking sneakers.
fake Jordans, and worth somewhere between $73 to $75 million.
Ooh.
And the NYPD, of course, got involved because it's in New York, but also Homeland Security.
Homeland
Security got involved in this. So the five people who appeared to all be of Asian descent, over the course of 8 months and 27,000 pairs of Jordans.
Yes.
They got the Jordans. They took them somewhere to put the logos on later. So they were just some generic shoes. So they add the logos later, and then they would sell them at around $200 a pair.
Okay.
People were buying them. What, did PJ Tucker get a pair?
No.
So you're trying to help that UNC team out by any means necessary.
Man, I'm
It
talking
ain't
about
even real.
talking about money so tall. All the go fuck. Just chrome me out, put me out on the front of the Bentley.
So-
Look, all that money.
So do you have a picture of the Jordans?
No, it was different.
They-
different
yeah.
pairs.
All different.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
they-
know they
different
had
kinds of
different
pairs.
numbers.
Right, I'm
and
saying,
everything.
but did they have like? Was it a?
Oh, they not bogus looking.
Oh, they weren't
No,
bogus?
they not.
No.
They not bogus looking.
If
Like
you own some Jordans, you may own
yeah.
a pair of these.
If you didn't go to if you didn't go to one of them, if you didn't go to a major retailer, you might
You might
if
have one of
you
those
might
pairs
have
of
pair.
Jordans.
If you lived in Brooklyn or Queens in the last year,
You might
You got a
got
fake pair of J's.
Jordans.
I wonder. Let me
You
ask you a
might got
question.
it.
So, is it any way they can tell? Because I know people right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
'cause
there
it's people.
are.
It's people in Brooklyn listen to the show, right? And I know people right now going in their closets trying to look inside their shoes.
So,
Like,
but listen, this didn't extend beyond Brooklyn, like, or beyond
It's
the
no telling.
New York state lines, or
Well, it just said the story just has that it was in Brooklyn and Queens.
If they have $70 million worth of Jordans,
that was definitely outside
they
of the
definitely
boroughs.
went outside of
yeah.
of New York. It went,
that was-
and to answer your question, yeah, you can tell a sneakerhead can tell not only a sneakerhead but
What about me, like
people.
an average person?
No,
I
they
can't
gon'
tell.
yeah,
they gonna get me?
gonna
Oh
get
no,
you.
they ain't get me.
They
I'm
gonna
sending
get you.
photos to all of my friends.
Just going
Are
on,
these real?
just get them from the major
go to-
retailer.
yeah.
Don't
I'll just go to Foot
if you
Locker.
see somebody
But
on
what if-
Facebook selling some, don't even.
So
get
there's
them.
no
Don't worry about it.
possibility that they infiltrated like the retail market.
No.
No.
Okay.
This was a trafficking underground kind of thing.
Trafficking sneakers, boy. I done seen it.
Man, look, right. when you say that number, you like, hey, maybe I want to traffic.
Maybe I want to traffic some sneakers.
It was time to get out. It was time to get out.
Right.
Yeah,
You gotta know when you hit that lick, you got to be like,
gotta go.
Yeah,
Like,
that year, I ran that year.
Bow out gracefully.
They didn't watch American Gangster?
What's interesting is that there were investigators who inspected all of these shoes. So I don't know who was the Air Jordan expert for law enforcement. I don't know where you find that guy. I mean, maybe you can find someone pretty easily, but that's who they had to go to.
Most stuff come from Asia anyway, right? So most stuff is made in Asia anyway, right? So it's not hard, if you got them connects to get it over here, and it can be just like that.
And they have the material to because they got the shoes with no logos on it, and they were able to go somewhere to put the logos on.
Exactly. Even
over
this was an enterprise.
Over in Asia, they had fake Apple stores.
Wait,
not fake iPhones.
The store,
a whole store. Wow. Wait, what? Y'all got a whole store, right? Yeah.
So what do you think was the most bizarre? Panel, you think it was the first story with ego lifting guy, or was it the fake but look real Jordans?
Absolutely the first story.
Yeah, because again, I'm opening my hand for him. open slap. The Jordans, that's been going on for a minute. That amount, though, is crazy.
When he kicked the weights away, that would have been open season.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Marcus Banks to the Big Three of the Ghost Baller. You listening to the Sports Lounge with my main man, Mr. Controversy.
Are you tired of limiting yourself from tasty food because you want to eat healthy? Well, Salad Express will fix that problem for you. Salad Express is a gourmet salad and grill restaurant that gives you multiple options to satisfy your taste buds and keep you healthy. They have over 40 toppings, which are all cut fresh daily, and 7 homemade soups, including chili. You can also order hot sandwiches and wraps, with choices like grilled chicken, steak, salmon, and shrimp, which can all be added to salad as well. Go ahead and visit them today at 1055 Mansell Road, Suite 600 in Roswell, Georgia. Your taste buds will thank you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Mike Patton, a.k.a. The General. And on my Saturday mornings, I got my feet kicked up, chilling, listening to my boys, The Intellectual and Mr. Controversy, ripping in the lounge.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Mr. Controversy here. Hey, man, we have a superstar listening, man, to the show, man. We always appreciate superstars that listen to our show and support. I'm going to give a shout out to my man, Rick. What up, Rick? The superstar Rick. Y'all don't know yet, but he's a superstar. But anyway, Rick is getting his haircut right now at the barbershop. Hey, man, appreciate you, man, for your support, especially at, y'all don't know, I talk about how I get up 4:30 in the morning to get a haircut. This guy's there before me. So I'm waiting on him. But appreciate all the support, homie. You know everything. You always motivate me and everything like that. So appreciate you, dog. One day I'm going to get on your level. So anyway, we're going to talk about the NFL again. We have to, like I said, it's first, we got to talk about the NFL. But this should have been a hot topic, but we had to talk about that other hot topic. So I guess this is hot topic part 2. And, with players that are holding out, trying to get money, that's not getting their money. But other players in other positions besides Khalil Mack that seems like they're getting their money when they want their money. And so now I'm wondering what type of value does the other positions hold if you're not a quarterback, if you're not the quarterback position, or it's not the quarterback position, a left tackle, and it could be a right tackle, I guess, if your quarterback's left-handed, and a Russian, whether it's a DN or a linebacker, besides Khalil Mack.
Donald.
But that's my point. I'm saying a rusher, though. He's a D tackle. So even though he's a beast in your rush quarterback, but I'm talking about you look at rusher, you thinking of a defensive end or a linebacker. So since you brought Donald up, prime example, like, do you think? First of all, do you think that has something to do with it? Just because of what position you play, that's why they don't get the money. That's why we can say, all right, even though you're the defensive player of the year, we can say, all right, we're not going to pay you what we want to pay you.
Man, it seems like if you're not a quarterback, or like you said, a left tackle, or maybe a pass rusher.
Yeah, Khalil Mack.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe.
Right.
Like, dude, you short. And for a running back, you got to be within your first 2 or 3 years, and you got to have them put up numbers that are ridiculous, right? I.e. Todd Gurley. You know what I mean? You got to put up crazy numbers your first 2 or 3 years to get that number. Le'Veon Bell been the best running back in the league for the last 5 years roughly? Mm-hmm. He still can't get paid?
Right.
Because what you expect now, you expect his career to go downhill from here on, right? Like you said, Khalil Mack, he out of camp now. I think he's going to get fined from now on, right? Because he didn't come to the practice yesterday, right? So he's going to be fined from now on. One of the best pass rushers in the league. Can't get paid. It's almost like it's, okay, we don't need you because we know the next great one is coming. We can catch one in the second round. We can catch one late in the first round. But a QB or a left tackle, that don't come
all right,
like
so
that.
let me ask you a question. G, I want you to come in on this. You too, Ms. Quick. So what he just stated, what the intellectual just stated, he stated that, which is very true. Like, we know a next one is coming. But when you look at the quarterback position, we always talk about it. You can't, it's very hard to sustain a starter, a legitimate starter as a quarterback. Ask the Cleveland Browns, ask the New York Jets. Before then, ask Tampa Bay, the Chicago Bears.
Still can ask Tampa Bay.
I'm doing a man like that, but is it?
You actually could have always asked Tampa Bay,
right?
Always.
But is that a fair assessment? That's why then? So is that why the quarterbacks get what they want because you can't? It's hard to find a legitimate starter.
Well, yeah, because it's more finding a good quarterback is more scarce. Like, okay, there are 32 teams, but how many teams actually think, okay, we have a quarterback? Like every draft you hear, oh, this guy's going to be a starter for 15 years, and then he starts for like 2.5 years, maybe.
2-40 record.
Right. So it's like not every team feels like they have a quarterback, but they feel like they have to have one to win. But if you already have one, then okay, what else can we get? Okay, we need to protect the quarterback. We need a left tackle. Okay, now let's build up our defense. We need to get a pass rush going. That's the premium position on defense because you hear this offseason there are a lot of free agent safeties
just sitting around.
Nobody's trying to pay them,
around,
and they're all good.
Just sitting
Nobody's
around.
Trying to pay. Earl Thomas wants an extension. Seattle trying to pay him.
Seattle like nah.
He might be he's their most important defensive player, and they don't want to pay him.
Yep.
Right.
Because safety is not. You can always find a safety.
And even with that, right, you can always look to Sam Bradford, right? Look at how much money he's made.
Do this dude ever
Look at
Bruh.
Case Keenum, the contract that he just got.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, the contract he just got.
Mike Glennon got paid in Chicago.
For 1 year, 16
Got
milli.
paid in Chicago.
And he got drafted over.
Right.
Yeah.
And
he was at the draft party. But go ahead.
The funny thing that you said that was that Sam Bradford has been.
Look at it, the number. He has made over $100 million.
So wait. How many times has he played a season?
Oh, he's the finesse
A
god
full
of the
season.
NFL.
How does he is Archie Manning his agent?
Oh, his agent is putting in work.
Yeah, because I don't understand.
He should get him 5%. What they get him, 2?
I think it's 3.
He need to get him 6.
Right.
He
Yeah.
need the A.
So you cover the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides Cam, we love Keithley, but for the most part, is there anybody else that you can see besides the left tackle that's gonna get paid, and you know for sure they're gonna get paid?
Thomas Davis has said this is going to be his last season. That's about the only other person that I could think of right away that they would consider paying, and he's a linebacker. I would say really nobody jumps out. Like maybe like in a long shot, maybe Christian McCaffrey because he's such a fan favorite. But he's still at that running back position, and then you get to the dilemma whether you pay the player or you pay the position, which is what we're seeing with OBJ.
And by the time his contract come up, he gonna be 4 years in, and they're gonna be like,
depending on what he does.
What do we?
I mean, if they keep running him up the middle, he's
not gonna do much.
He's not gonna do much.
So then,
and Sam Bradford career earnings is 129.
Good God!
How many times you played a full season?
He has played 16 games twice. That was his first and third year. And then in Minnesota, he played 15 games.
His sleeves deserve
the first year, and then 6 last year.
No, last year, two.
Yeah.
And then got a $20 million contract with Arizona.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, but again, it speaks volumes because the quarterback position is hard. Like I said, ask those teams we named.
Definitely. And did he even? He didn't even have surgery though, right? His knee just was hurting from prior injuries, right?
Right. And that's what I'm saying though. I'm saying that
he was sore.
It's like with quarterbacks, and then with left tackles because we have to maintain a quarterback. You have to get a left tackle to protect them. And let me ask you a question: was Baselli? Was he still hadn't made the Hall of Fame, which is crazy.
Yeah,
but did he? Was he left or right?
He was a left tackle, Baselli.
And that's the reason his quarterback was left-handed, and he still was a left tackle, and he still was like the most important besides Brunel. But again,
and you might want to make your kids grow up to be a left tackle. Remember, when you grow up, they be like offensive linemen. They don't get all the respect. Well, that's where the money at now.
Knees be bad though.
Yeah, knees and feet be
going
bad.
Going back to the Panthers, they actually did pay. I want to say it was Matt Kalilas. 2 of them is Ryan and Matt. Matt got paid coming off of a year that he was heavily injured and kind of played sporadically last year. Then you have Trey Turner. He got the big contract. Down there. So when it comes to that situation, they're trying to protect Cam.
But they're trying to protect Cam. Right.
By any means necessary.
And so now you look at the wide receiver, certain wide receivers get paid depending on how much you want. Because think about it, like Julio had when he first got paid, it was a great deal. But dang, was it? And I ain't even talking about because of what we know now, but I'm just saying, even with the market.
But the thing about that though is that one, it was front loaded, but two, you hear what the number, but they don't always you see that second number, the guarantee.
The guarantee.
Yeah.
Normally they just get the guarantee and they don't get what's left over.
It'll be
now it's at the point where he's supposed to get what's left over.
It'll be for $80 million, right?
The incentives are ridiculous. It's like you have to have a certain amount of yards,
touchdowns,
this many of games,
catches,
this many touchdowns, this many yards after the catch, this many Pro Bowl appearances, and things like that. So it's a lot of incentive loaded contracts in the NFL.
The deal would be for $80 million with 50 guaranteed, or
but they're starting to
guaranteed.
see more guarantees now. Well, more of the money guaranteed for a higher percentage.
Right.
They have,
but even still with that, that's even more on the quarterback side, and that's what's pushing the envelope. That's what's making it the guarantees higher, right? Because the quarterbacks are doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's, and I think it's so horrible. That's why I don't get mad at people for holding out. I remember back in the day before I was as educated in the game as I am now on the business side of it. You know, you used to be mad at them, right? Mad. Like, what are you doing? But then when you realize, hey, you play him for 4 years, you get him this little $20 million, and now you owe him another $30. But because you done pay him the guaranteed money, you can get rid of him and ship him somewhere else and draft you a running back in the second round and pay. Like, that's his career.
Right.
Sean Alexander is a perfect example, right? Remember his slope, right? He was up there, MVP, then dropped off a hill. Like, completely fell off the face of the earth, right? Went from being MVP of the league to completely out the league. Like, that's how running backs' careers are.
Man, but he was 38 years old by then. Because remember, Sean was in the league for a long time. So, but look, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back to talk some baseball. We'll be right back.
My sister Katie and I are bargain hunters.
But my sister Kelly showed me an article that made me change a really bad habit. I used to buy bargain knockoffs on the street.
You mean counterfeit merchandise?
And this can lead to more Americans losing their jobs.
So, no more buying fakes, right?
Right, just honest bargain hunting.
Counterfeits hurt, but you have the power to stop them. Go to www.ncpc.org/getreal. Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance, U.S. Department of Justice.
Hey, what's going on, sports fans? It's the 2018 Battlegrounds champion, Damian Adams, from The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Now, you can catch my show weekly on the 3-Point Conversion station on Spreaker Radio. But for right now, I'm doing what everybody else should be doing, and that's listening to Mr. Controversy and The Intellectual in the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
You're back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with Mr. Controversy and The Intellectual.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And it is coming to that part of the season where baseball really matters.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the fun part,
this
right?
is for the fans that are just
not really
casual fans.
Yeah.
It's time for them to watch baseball.
You know, I could sit down and watch a 9-inning game. It's no problem. A lot of people be like, I just watch the highlights.
Right. And, man, we had some blows. We had, came off Friday that they made it official that Mike Trout was on a DL because of his right wrist. He has inflammation, which was like, man. But
it's not going to affect their playoff implications.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's really not. But first, let's talk about the Braves. The Braves are tied for number one. It's we talked about it last week. It's going to be a battle between them and Philly. And actually, the crazy thing is Washington still has a chance.
Right. They're only 5.5 out. They're 5.5 out.
Right.
A lot of games left. Bryce is hitting better since the break. They lost last night. Washington did 3-2.
So it seems like the young guns are coming back. They just got a great performance, Braves, yesterday, and they 10-1, of course, and it looks like those trades might pay off.
Yeah, look like they're working out. And again, man, that's a battle. Just all up and down the National League when you look at it.
Yeah, it
even
is.
In the Central, it's a 3-game lead.
Mm-hmm.
But, in the East and in the West, it's a tie for first.
Now, I want to talk MVP talk. And, you know, we might sound like some homers, but oh well. But for real, it's
Homers,
it's,
y'all got it? Homers.
It's legitimate,
baseball.
though. Right, exactly. But legitimately, we could talk about Baez because Baez right now
Dude.
is on a tear.
And then see what the thing is, though, right? Is that, so of course his offense is ridiculous this year, right? But his defense has always been there, right?
Been there.
He played third base the other day. He took this like a ball that was going up the line. When I tell you, he gunned him and got him by a mile. Man, he putting up MVP numbers, man. And you make it all around. Like I heard when I was watching the game last night, one of the announcers who, again, they were on it was on the Nationals network, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And the guy said he's like the second best all-around player behind Mike Trout. And I had to think about it for a minute. I was like, that's a legitimate argument. Mm-hmm. He can steal bases. He can hit for power. He's driving in runs. He's also hitting for average. He's almost batting 300 if he's not over 300. And then his glove work is crazy. We already know how he tagged people out. And he also stealing bases. So he's out there second best player behind Mike Trout.
But what about who? Baez? You think he's second best?
All around.
Right, yeah. And so you look at his batting, his batting average, and it's I think he's still under 300. Mm-hmm. But like you said, what he's doing. And I want to ask you, and G, I know G is not typically a baseball person, but I want to ask G also. With MVP, do you think that should include, because you spoke all around, should that include your defense as well? And if you think so, the other question is, does it?
Well, it doesn't. It historically hasn't.
Right.
I mean, we've seen players win MVPs just because they had the best season. Like Stanton won the MVP last year.
Because he hit, 60?
Right.
Almost.
A-Rod won MVP a couple of times on some bad Rangers teams.
Horrible.
So it normally goes to the best player, but team success has very little to do with it.
Because right now, it looks like, honestly, we talk about Baez, and that's the one thing about baseball. It's the National League and it's the American League. But in the American League, when is the last time we've seen, and it looks like a two-man race between teammates?
Boston. But I was just finna say, like,
when have we seen that?
I know we speak all the time about Trout being the best all-around player. I'm not sure about that. Mookie Betts is, man, look.
Yeah, Mookie Betts is a beast.
Man, look. He batting 350 forever. He batting 352. Only 60 strikeouts to go along with 56 walks. 62 RBIs, 27 home runs, and just hit for the cycle the other day.
That's crazy. And then you got Martinez, 332. Now he has 113 strikeouts, but that's okay because he has 35 home runs. That's expected. But 101 RBI. Like, wow. Who do you think wins that?
So, I'm saying, so I'm looking, right? And Betts has missed 13 games under Martinez, right?
Right.
So imagine if Betts had them 13 games.
He would have maybe 33 home runs, 34 home runs, maybe 33, I say.
But them RBIs by Martinez is crazy.
Well, that's because Betts is getting on base.
Well, exactly. Exactly. And he's scoring. Look at his runs.
So
134 runs.
To look at that team.
Here's OPS,
right now,
man.
Yeah, to look at that team right now, and you have two teammates being MVP candidates. How do you determine? Is it going to be just off home runs? Because like you just stated, Martinez has 35 home runs, but he's played how many games he played? 13 more games? More than, No. They only played, 13 more games more than Mookie. So
it's going to come down to the stat I still don't understand. WAR. Whatever WAR is, it's going to come down to that.
Explain WAR to him again, man.
Wins above replacement.
No. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care.
Oh, that is funny.
No,
but
man,
you know what? And that's funny, right? What you just said is so funny because Jason Worth, right? He's retiring this year if he hasn't already. I know he's talking about it. He was talking about how the nerds, right? The super nerds has changed the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I saw a video of him. He's playing in like a rec league somewhere.
Yeah, like he is like so over the Major League Baseball. You can't say because the super nerds, these guys from MIT and Harvard, and they come in, they've never played baseball a day in their life, and they come in and they do all this. And actually, that is exactly what's happening because I've read something else about Pujols, right? So since this shift, you know how they make the shift, right? The infield shifts.
Yeah.
Guess who's been affected by it the most? Albert Pujols, because of the way he hit the ball and how hard he hits the ball. He hits it right into the shift. Everything that would usually be a single is a.
I don't understand, and I understand you trying to bat for average, not even bat for average, you're trying to get home runs or whatever. Like, okay, so I'm a Cubs fan, right?
I'm bunting. You talking about how they be doing Rizzo?
Rizzo. I mean, like
he still gets it done. So.
But it was so bad one time
with nobody on third base.
Nobody was on second base. It was just everybody was from like past second base and first base.
Like,
all
it'd be ridiculous. The whole entire team be in between first base and second base.
And Rizzo still, when he hits the ball, it's still going
it
straight over.
It go right to
just bunt it
right to one of the people instead of just you can push it to third base line and you might get a double off of a bunt. Like that's how bad it is, and it's not just him. Pujols, like, and you see it, like, and unfortunately, it does take away from the game. However, it's like the hack rule, right? The foul rule, right? Like you hate it, but you understand it because it's going to win the game for you, right?
But changes have been made with that, though,
right?
To where you just can't foul someone and put them on the line, and without being penalized in some way.
But it's not. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great analogy. But I don't think anything is wrong with the way that you feel, and you're saying, okay, we're going to adjust our
right. It's
not with like the hack thing. It doesn't happen as much. It's only with like 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan,
and I think with the shift thing, it only happens with a handful of players.
Yeah,
but because they don't hit the other way.
It's about it's 3 on the 2 on the Cubs by himself, Sharber and Rizzo, and then Pujols. It's ridiculous. It was bad.
Let me ask you. So how do you think? So you think they're going to buy WAR? Because it's funny because usually you say when it's this close, all right, well you're going to go by what the team did and did they lead their team? But
you got to get this to Mookie. And WAR is wins above replacement. Meaning, if they put somebody else there in your place, how many wins would you get above that person?
Right.
Still don't get it.
G, like
I understand that part, but how it's like
calculated. Like, yeah, I get.
Okay, some imaginary person is put in your place. How do you know if they're as good as you or not?
Or how you know they might?
Or how do you know how much better you are than them?
Right, he might hit a game winner in 2 games, and that might change.
That's like when you was little. I don't know if y'all play this, but we used to play this when it was like me and somebody else playing baseball. It'd be 2 people, his team, my team, and we hit Ghostman on first. And we used to play Ghostman on
Yeah, because you ain't got
like no. How you know? He fast.
He made it. He made it.
You
slid.
arguing. Yeah.
He slid.
That's right.
He can score from second. How you know? He goes.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the Real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
Hey, this is Brittany Griner from the Phoenix Mercury, and you listen to the 3-Point Conversion.
Yes, you all know what this means. It means it is time to go. But before we go, we have to give a couple of shout outs. And stay tuned because it might be you. First, I want to give a major shout out to God Almighty, man, for giving me this platform. Still unbelievable, man. The moves we're making, the situations he's putting me in. You know, I thank God for that. But still, just to give me this platform to do what I do, talk mess, make you mad, happy, upset, want to give me the stop it button.
Stop it.
And just do what I do, man. Be controversy, you know? Also, I want to thank our sponsors, Cindy Barbershop, Salad Express, Sucker Free Life LLC. I want to thank our special guest, Sean Tomlinson from Bleacher Report, and Miss Sheena Quick. You have something to say real quick?
Thank you for allowing me on. It's always a pleasure. Always fun. Always a good time.
Yeah, she was pumping to show up yesterday at the place. Y'all many watch the show? Because I'm going to be on.
Pretty much.
So, and hopefully they did listen. So, you know, hey. Also want to thank Miss Krista Dayon, the 3-point conversion princess. And want to thank my producer, G, who did an excellent job last night. Appreciate you, sir. And then I want to thank my co-host, The Intellectual. You already know what it is.
Yes. Appreciate everybody listening. Definitely a shout out to God giving us this platform to speak our mind and do what we do every week. Thanks for everybody for listening. Friends, family, special guest, Sean again. Sheena, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. At least really appreciate it. Greg, the best engineer in the world. Crystal, appreciate you as always. And again, appreciate friends, family, and always got to give a shout out
to me? Ooh.
To friends and family, man.
Oh, okay.
My cuz, cuz Sean Calvin and the young homies at Safety Net Facility in Mentor, Alabama, man. We know a lot of people give up on y'all, but we here at 3-point conversion. They gonna give up on y'all.
All right, and I'd like to thank my family and friends, beautiful wife, children, cousins, uncles, aunties, grandparents, play cousins, everybody. I want to thank LA Broadus. Make sure y'all check his show out. Him and Mr. Eric, Brownstown, and Damian Adams. Check his show out. The Real Deal with Damian Adams. That's on Tuesdays. Brownstown is on Mondays. And like I said, everyone who's listening, man, shout out to everybody that listen, man. Like I said, make sure y'all love family. Let them know you love them. Eat good. Watch sports. Watch football. Until then, same time, same show. Same crazy nonsense in sports. Will you miss me? I'm out. Peace. You just got done listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at The 3-Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.